as the Mustangs attempt to work on a 2-0 deficit. Now get a look at some of the fans here today, and rather brave fans, along with the home plate umpire for today's game.
I think all of these fans out here today deserve the Purple Heart for braving the cold.
That's a fairly good gathering. We're fairly obstructed, but I can see a nice gathering in the bleachers down the third base side. Certainly hardier souls than I. I don't think not exactly ideal baseball weather here today. Proviso West about set to kick off the bottom of the first. It'll be McGrath, Dan Marks, and Jay Nagy for Downers Grove South. Rudy Boker trying to get some runs. His squad played 13 innings on Thursday. We mentioned earlier that they played a 9-inning game on Tuesday, which ended in a 3-3 tie at Willowbrook. So they're going to have to take the field again and finish that game off. It's nice to be out on the field for 3 hours and wind up with no result. They nearly had a repeat on Thursday as they went 13 innings against Morton before finally winning 1-0 on a base hit by Ryan Bebar.
Well, in games that go that long and end up in a tie, it's almost as effective as kissing your sister, I guess.
That grounded fouled on the first baseline. Takes a lot longer than kissing your sister, too. At least you kiss your sister and it's over with in a hurry.
Well, McGrath got around a little late on that offering from Shepard.
That pitch outside 1-1. Shepard, a very hard thrower.
Sounds like he's serving a tennis ball up there, because you can hear him making the grunts and the wheezes and all sorts of noises.
That pitch in the dirt, 2-1 to number 11, Dan McGrath, the junior center fielder for Downers Grove South.
With Shepard being a junior, I think the one thing that he may have to do in order for him to become the full-fledged superstar that everybody believes he can be is he may need to mature a little bit on the hill. I think right now he's overthrowing a little bit, and he's only thrown a couple of pitches. He's missing low, and usually it's the first sign of him not being, quite ready. He may still be cold from sitting on the bench during the first half of the inning.
That's one tendency that Shepard has had this season. He strikes out a lot of batters, but will walk a lot as well. Strike two on the outside corner to McGrath. Proviso West faced Hinsdale Central recently, and Red Devils coach Gary Solaski said Shepard's the best pitcher he's seen in a long time. In that game, he struck out 11 batters, did Shepard. Shut down Hinsdale Central's bats, but walked 7. So even in an overpowering performance like that, he allowed a lot of unnecessary base runners, you might say. 3-2 the count to McGrath. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Shepard going right past McGrath with that pitch. Blew it right past him.
Well, both pitchers starting early with just throwing nothing but heat. And the only breaking ball we've seen thrown was the drop third strike for the final out in the top half of the first inning, thrown by Anderson. I think right now Shepard wants to get himself warmed up, and in order to do that, he's bringing it from the turbo engine, so to speak, and just firing it in there.
Dan Marks will take the next shot at Shepard. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Took a little something off that one.
Just as we say you were throwing heat, Shepard pulls a string on the changeup there.
Marks with an 0-1 count. Shepard coming right back with the express, and it's inside 1-1. Well, a little inside, backs Marks off, 2-1. Shepard throwing a lot of pitches here early.
He might be doing that for thermal reasons.
Marks on top of that one, it fouls it back, and it's 2-2, all even. With 1 out in the bottom of the first, Proviso West leading 2-0. They scored 2 runs on a 2-out single by the man on the mound, Albie Shepard. Marks, open stance in a crouch, grounds it past Shepard off his glove. Going to be a tough play. And in safe at first. Very close play. And Marks just able to beat it out as Shepard got a glove on the ball, but had to retreat, and Marks just beat him on a bang-bang play.
Very close play at first as the grounder that tipped off of the glove of Shepard. Shepard trying to scramble and recover, and as the throw got there, I don't know if the old adage tie goes to the runner is in effect here, but that was a very close call at first. I have a hard time being a catcher myself in my old and baseball days. I know catchers usually don't have that great of speed, so for me to believe that Marks beat him is the pass ball there.
And on his way to second is Marks.
For me to believe that a catcher's going to outrun that.
That's strike one as it hit the outside corner and then eluded Townsend. As Jay Nagy at the plate, he will now have a chance to drive in a run from scoring position.
Well, here's what we talked about earlier, is the fact that now Shepard has to step in and kind of calm himself down, get himself under control here. Otherwise, he could be facing a long inning, just as Eric Anderson did for the Mustangs.
Stretch and pitch, foul down the right field line, going to be out of play. 0-2 the count.
Nagy had a good cut at that, just a little behind it. Took it the other way, but a little bit too far as it sailed out of play.
Nagy, Downers Grove South's leading hitter last summer when the Mustangs finished 14-8. Won their summer league division. Now in his junior season. Ball low, also plays football. Very talented linebacker for a very talented Downers Grove South football team.
Downers Grove South was always tough, playing tough in any sport that we played against in high school. I'm a Leiden graduate, and always in our conference was Downers South.
Oh, Shepard strikes out Nagy, and Marks at second with 2 out. Paul DiRienzo, the right fielder, and cleanup hitter coming up.
Sorry, I made my mistake. I didn't see an N in there.
That's all right.
DiRienzo or something. I don't know.
I think you came pretty close considering what you had to work with. I think an Egyptian couldn't read this. An ancient Egyptian. As I don't think any language has been invented yet to read my writing.
Called Owen shorthand or something.
DiRienzo with a ball 1 count to him. Right-hand hitter. Swing and a miss, 1-1. We talk about Nagy in football. I should mention DiRienzo is an all-conference player for John Belskis in the fall. I think Downers Grove South won like 6 straight West Suburban Gold Conference titles.
I believe it was a couple years ago that Downers South in football nosed out Leiden just at the end there, and because Leiden suffered a second to last week defeat against, I believe, Addison Trail, and that opened the way for the Mustangs to step in and take the crown.
2-1 the count. I remember that season, and I think it cost Leiden a playoff.
It cost him a state playoff berth. Exactly.
2-1 the count. DiRienzo hits it high into short right center field, and diving attempt, diving catch.
What a great effort there by
Dino Casucci with a diving catch, saving a run.
That ball got hung up in the wind and sort of ballooned on the Proviso West center fielder Casucci, but he kept his eyes on it, took a good beat at it, and made the play.
So a run-saving play. Proviso West leading 2-0 after 1 inning of play. We'll be back in just a moment. Dave Owen and Mike Solarte here on a brisk day. Really invigorates you, doesn't it, to be out in this kind of weather?
Oh, yeah, sure. It gets the blood going. If you believe that, I got a bridge just south of the Florida Keys I can let go real cheap.
All we need out here right now is the Detroit Lions. Maybe.
Beautiful day for a ball game, but we didn't say if it were football or baseball.
A view of the Chicago skyline. Maybe get Vern Lundquist in the booth. We'll be all set. It's just like a nice November, December day here. That might be getting a little far-fetched, but it'll feel like in a few
I don't
innings.
know. My birthday's in November, and this is about accurate. This is pretty close.
Top of the second, Proviso West leading 2-0, and Ed Lewandowski going to lead it off. He'll be followed by Dino Casucci, and then the leadoff man, Tom Rogers. Panthers lead it 2-0. Oh, we've got to comment a little more on Dino Casucci's play. That was a real Real big play.
Well, Casucci
Because
had to come in. He had to come in a long way. I'd say he had to come in at least 75 feet to get to that ball. And with the ball hanging up in the breeze like that, he made a great play to keep himself right on it.
Lewandowski swings and misses. And you know, if he doesn't make that great play, DiRienzo's at second base, and you have the tying run in scoring position in a 2-1 game.
Well, I have a suspicion that the runner at second would have been able to make it had he not, caught that ball.
Count stands at 1-1 to Lewandowski, the DH. Lines that one foul. Got around very early on that ball. Good rip.
Well, Anderson took something off in that last one. I think he might have thrown him a curve. It seemed to hang up there a little bit longer than most of the pitches he's been throwing today. And as you said, Lewandowski was a little bit quick.
See if Anderson comes back with a heat. He does, and it's high, 2-2. Dino Casucci on deck, and Mike, isn't it amazing that after the guy makes a great play in the bottom half of the inning, the next time up he's up second? Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Kind of gives you that extra burst of adrenaline to get up there after you make the good play. Now you want to hit the ball a long way. I
love how that happens in the major leagues, and the announcers always say, they make a great play in the one half of the inning, the next inning they're up first. Well, this is an exception. He's up second, but we'll get a good look at him at the plate now. The center fielder, Dino Casucci, right-hand batter. Anderson's got 3 strikeouts here early on after that last one.
Lewandowski becomes the third victim of the K.
Swing and a miss. Anderson.
That was a good off-speed pitch there. Had Casucci well ahead of it. The bottom seemed to drop out of that one.
He was going straight heat in the first inning. He's been altering quite a bit here in the second.
Oh, and the pitcher's starting to do this to the hitters. It makes for a very interesting afternoon for the hitters.
Count even at 1.
There in the upper right-hand corner of your screen in the golf cart, I think those are the high school assistants to the baseball team. There's another group that deserves a round of applause for everything they do. It's not like they want to waste a nice Saturday afternoon like today just to sit in a golf cart and freeze. Some of the unsung heroes here.
Ball 3, strike 1. Yeah, the worst spot in the world is to be a spectator on a day like today. The players at least are able to move around a little bit, get the old blood pumping. But I think that's the training staff even over there. Ball 4 in the dirt, and Casucci will take first, turn the bend as the pitch goes back to the screen, but Casucci will hold it first with a walk. So 1 out, and Tom Rogers coming up.
Well, as you said about Alvy Shepard, saying he strikes a lot of people out but tends to walk people, that is Anderson's second walk of the afternoon to go along with 3 strikeouts.
Anderson, at least in the past, going back to last summer, didn't have a lot of walks to his record, so he prides himself on pretty good control. Of course, last summer in July and August, it wasn't 39 degrees either.
Yeah, on a day like today, the weather conditions do play a big factor in anything a pitcher does. It's hard to get the off-speed stuff going, but both pitchers so far have gotten it working pretty well. It's hard for the hitters. I'd say in a day like today, I think the pitcher has the biggest advantage because the hitters, once you hit a ball on a cold day like today, and the bees and the bats sort of wake you up, you don't really want to go up there swinging too much.
Especially guys like this, they're gonna have a whole hive in your bat with the way they throw. The heat that they throw will really get the bees stinging. 2-0 as Rogers, who singled and scored his first time, is ahead on the count, looking to get on base once again. His teammate Dino Casucci standing at first. Grounded. Stapleton can't get it. It's in the left. Hulava, rather, at short. And it's first and second, 1 out as Rogers 2 for 2 with a single to left.
Well, that bouncer through short had eyes.
Anderson now has allowed 4 hits. Anderson, part of a great 1-2 lefty duo here at Downers Grove South. Ed Pontecorvo, the other half, and he pitched 11 shutout innings on Thursday.
Oh my.
That was another cold day. And he stayed out there for virtually the duration. Eventually, Mike Hullava, who's at short today, came in relief for the win. Pitched the last 2 innings. Brian Wardell gets good wood on that ball. And a nice catch by Bebar out in left field. Good lunging grab by Bebar, and there are 2 out with first and second.
Wardell put the fat part of the bat on the ball and gave it a ride out to left, but once again the wind blowing in wasn't going to carry it too far out. It's 375 to deep center field there, or actually that's the gap between center and left. So the ball's going to carry a long way to get out of the yard here.
Wardell, who singled his first time, got another good rip there. Denied a hit though, and Paul Robertson, the batter, who popped to short his first time. The table is set for Robertson here. Ball too low, and now he's ahead on the count. Last time Anderson came in with 2 quick strikes on him, ultimately induced a pop-up to shortstop. There's a look at Robertson at the plate. Pitch swung on and missed. Power against power, and Anderson won that battle. (2-1). Dino Casucci at second. Tom Rogers at first. Proviso West already leading 2-0 in the top of the second. That's ball 3. 3-1 the count.
I think somebody over there ought to put a muzzle on that guy over in the track. You think somebody just stole his wallet or something by for the way he's telling people to get off the track.
3-1 the count. That fouled back, 3-2.
That one too close to lay off of for Robertson. I think just up around the letters. And some umpires are going to call that a strike, others won't. But you don't know which one you're going to be dealing with in this situation, so you got to take a rip at it. Full count now, 2 outs, runners will be going.
Bruce Wardell on deck. Should Robertson get on? Anderson from the stretch. Runners go. Pitch fouled straight back, and we'll stay at 3-2. Robertson now fighting him, much like Derek Townsend did in the first inning with runners at first and second, and a 3-2 count.
Should Anderson let this runner get away, he'll be loading the bases for the cleanup hitter, Bruce Wardell.
A lot of chatter in the Proviso West dugout,
and he missed.
And it pays off. Ball 4. Oh my goodness, a lot of noise coming from that dugout all of a sudden, and Robertson induces a walk, so the bases are full for Bruce Wardell with 2 out. Like the way Proviso West is putting runners on base, and they capitalized in the first inning with 2 runs after 2 were out. They'll try to do the same again here.
Well, in that situation, though, they had L.V. Shepard, and he poked the base hit to center.
Wardell grounds it into left field. Base hit. 1 run home. Bebar bobbles. 2 runs will score. And it'll be first and second. Another 2 out, 2-run single for Proviso West. And they lead it 4-0.
Well, Wardell, the cleanup hitter, that's what he's there for, to clean the bases up. And with the bases loaded, Wardell drove one through the hole between third and short, scoring Casucci and Rogers. And Proviso West has a 4-0 lead. All of this with 2 outs.
Each time they have drawn a 3-2 walk, and then a 2-out single. 2 runs come in on each single, one by Shepard, one by Bruce Wardell. And Wardell just jumped on that first pitch. I think he knew that was his best bet. Anderson was going to try and get ahead with a fastball, and the senior jumped on it.
That's Wardell's first hit of the day. He struck out the last time up. Now coming to the plate is Derek Townsend. Walked the last time up after he fought Anderson through a long, arduous at bat.
Fought him tooth and nail. Ball 1 the count. Do you know what that means? Tooth and nail?
Tooth and nail? Never really given it much thought.
I haven't
Not
either.
on a cold day like today.
Yeah, you turn philosophical when it's a wintry day in April. That pitch in there, 1-1, and I don't know if you consider that philosophy, maybe a dime store philosophy. Now Townsend going to meet with his coach, Tim McAlpin. down at third base. Still 2 ducks on the pond for the Panthers. They lead it 4-0. Townsend hits it to right, down the line. DiRienzo, a long way to come. He won't get there. Base hit. Coming around third, and Robertson will score. It's 5-0. Going to third is Bruce Wardell. Ooh, the bats of Proviso West coming around early here.
Well, Derek Townsend got around a little late on a fastball offering from Anderson and just kind of blooped one. Little Texas leaguer there had eyes and just dropped in about 2 feet inside the foul line on the right field side, scoring the runner Robertson, who came around from second base. And Wardell ends up at third. 5-0 Proviso West. All the runs coming with 2 outs.
Still first and third, and Shepard up. Man goes from first. No, he bluffs and goes back. Strike one. Swing and a miss. That's the catcher, Townsend, at first. Catchers don't usually steal even with men at first and third.
No, catchers are not usually fleet of foot.
Bruce Wardell at third. He had a big hit in this inning, that 2-run single. Now Townsend will go. Swing and a miss. Shepard marks his throw. Cut off. And it'll be second and third. But an 0-2 count now to Shepard.
2 runners in scoring position here for Alvy Shepard, and Shepard had 2 RBIs his last trip to the plate as he scored Rogers and Brian Wardell.
Let's go here, Alvy. Let's go now, kid.
Lots of chatter from the Proviso West dugout once again.
Hey, it's paying off. I'll tell you.
Here we go.
That pitch in the dirt, drop third strike. Marks will have to throw to first. And good stretch by Paul Otterbacher at first. They register the strikeout. And the inning is over, but not before Proviso West with another 2-out uprising. 3 runs on 3 hits. They have cuffed Anderson for 6 hits here in 2 innings. And Anderson has had pretty good control all in all, but he's had 2 very poorly spotted walks, you might say, with 2 out and first and second.
The walk that he allowed to Derek Townsend in the first inning came back to haunt him as Shepard drove in 2 runs with a single, and then the walk he gave up to Paul Robertson came back to haunt him again as Derek Townsend came back and got the base hit, scoring an extra run.
And you really can't even knock Anderson because he was ahead of the count. He was getting the strikes in there, and the batters just battled him. And he pitched very well in each situation, but he came in with strike after strike, and Proviso West batters kept wasting him.
Well, Proviso West hitters are not going to go gently into that good night, so to speak, and it's coming back, and it's paying off for Proviso West as they lead on the scoreboard 5-0.
Proviso West has had I guess you might say, kind of a rough week. They had a big come-from-behind win on Tuesday at Hinsdale South. They were down 8-3 and rallied to win 9-8 with a run in the 7th inning. But sandwiched around that game, they lost a tough one on Monday at Downers Grove North, 8-3, a game they were ahead 3-1 in, and ultimately the Trojans scored 4 times in the bottom of the 6th and won 8-3, pulled away in that 6th inning. And then on Thursday, they lost 5-3 to another tough conference foe, Lyons Township. So today they're getting healthy a little bit, and off to a 5-0 lead in the 2nd inning.
If I remember correctly, the Downers South, Downers North rivalry is a heated one. I remember coming out here and witnessing just one of their football games, and the way those 2 teams were going at it. You know, it's a tough inter-school rivalry between the 2 Downers Grove schools,
and it's getting even more heated, I think, if that's possible. It's always been a tight one, but in addition to Downers Grove South, which has really come to the forefront with a football program in the last decade, now Downers Grove North advancing all the way to the state championship game this year. So now you have 2 of the top teams in the state across town from each other. So it makes it an interesting time.
Well, their programs are very strong. Their athletic programs at both schools are very strong. The Trojans at Downers North and the Mustangs at Downers South. But the baseball team just isn't doing it today so far, folks. Proviso West up 5-0, and we're only in the bottom half of the 2nd inning.
Mike Hullava will lead it off, the shortstop for the Mustangs, followed by designated hitter Brian Boker. and first baseman Paul Otterbacher.
It's a silent,
tough one.
It's a
Yeah,
silent
that's a tough
C.
one to pronounce. It's spelled. We'll spell that for you after Shepard's first pitch. Pitch comes in high. Mike Hullewa is spelled Cholewa.
Boy, I wonder how you could say it backwards.
Strike one. Called 1-1. You sing the seventh inning. You get up in the seventh inning stretch, or I guess the fifth inning stretch.
When I get up in the
this game.
seventh inning stretch, I'm going to be walking to my car and get the heat started.
Yeah, Shepard got his heater started there, and it's 1-2. Blew it right past Hullewa.
I'm going to write that out the way it sounds. Because looking at it, it looks like a cross between.
You've got play-by-play next inning,
Yeah,
so
I know that's right.
you may have the next shot at that name. Grounded to first and unassisted put-out Brian Wardell. It'll be 1 out in the bottom of the second. And Brian Boker, the designated hitter, coming up.
Boker hitting in Anderson's spot, hitting for the pitcher Eric Anderson. It's very strange. I'm not quite used to the idea of the pitchers being DH'd for by one team, and then having a left fielder being DH'd by the other team. But that's high school baseball for you. They're allowed to DH.
Actually, in the major leagues, if you wanted to, you could DH for any batter you wanted to, too.
That I never really.
Swing and a miss.
That's something I've never seen.
No, I don't think
So
you probably won't ever see it because the pitcher is normally the worst hitter on the team. But
Well, don't say that to Alvy Shepard.
Ball low, 1-1. If the White Sox wanted a designated hit for Craig Grayback or Matt Marullo or anyone like that, if they were in the lineup, they could and let the pitcher bat, but it's usually the pitcher. That's just an example. Nothing
against
those
Grayback
players.
and Marullo,
They're
right.
both fine major league players. They earn their salary. 2-1 to Brian Boker. Left-hand batter, coach's son.
Did you get a chance to watch that opening day of Comiskey? Oh,
I missed that, but
oh. And the thing, I was going to
3-1.
videotape that thing too. Just
for
record it.
posterity,
Yeah,
you want to
tape
watch it
for
over and over
posterity.
again.
Yeah, I think I'm glad I missed that one.
Well, get Sparky Anderson's home number. I think he might want a copy. he might want to watch that one for a while. He probably loves that park now.
But one thing about the White Sox, they're 0-3 opening up a new building.
Swing and a miss. I understand they had some clergy come in and bless the new field at one point during the day as part of the pregame festivities.
Wonder if they were atheists or something. Oof. 16-0. It looked like a football score after a while.
3-2 swing and a miss as Shepard blows it by Boker.
Big heat there again from Shepard. Just blew it past Boker.
That's 3 strikeouts for Alvy, the big junior. And Paul Otterbacher will have the next shot at him. It's 5-0 Proviso West. 2 in the first and 3 more in the second. Every run is scored with 2 out. You have to figure the new park, they've got all the bad vibes out of there now. There are much better days ahead.
Oh, without question.
I wonder if they lose today 15-0, what they're going to do. Maybe they'll take the wrecking ball to that one and move next door again.
They'll reconstruct the right field wall, just close off the outfield like they did for most of the season a couple years ago. Being a loyal South Side fanatic.
Otterbacher stayed back on that changeup, chops it in the dirt. Good play by the second baseman Rogers. He throws him out.
An excellent play there by the second baseman Rogers. He came up firing on the high hopper that Otterbacher knocked off the plate. 1, 2, 3. There in the bottom half of the second.
So we are through 2 innings. Proviso West with great defense and great offense. They are up 5-0. Welcome back for the 3rd inning. Dave Owen along with Mike Solarte here, and it has been all Proviso West so far, 5-0. And here is Mike to take you through the 3rd.
Thank you, Dave. On the hill again, Eric Anderson. Getting set, kicks and delivers one upstairs to Steve Salkitis. Or Silkatis, do you say? 5'11", 165-pound left-hander. Anderson delivers a nice strike there. Yeah, you get a shot of Eric Anderson.
Having probably his roughest outing of the year so far here today. He's not used to getting hit like this.
Off speed, high outside.
Anderson against Downers Grove North lost a 10-2 game, but had a few walks, and also behind him his defense committed, I think, 6 or 7 errors.
Ooh. It's a rough go of it. Anderson kicks and delivers. Swing and a fly ball curling foul.
My goodness, that's like one of my golf shots, a tee shot. Tee off at the 8th hole and wind up on the 10th.
Silkatis last time up was fanned by Anderson. Got a 2-2 count on him.
Anderson's had 4 strikeouts.
But the walks have hurt. The 2-2 offering blown by Silkatis. That's his 2nd strikeout of the day.
5 strikeouts. He just overpowered him right there. Blew it right by him.
Stepping to the plate now, the designated hitter, Ed Lewandowski. He was also a victim of the strikeout. See if he can change his fortunes here. 1 away, top of the 3rd. 5-0 Proviso. Off-speed pitch. Lewandowski well ahead of that.
Anderson has really been in a pretty good groove. He's just had a couple of tough spots after 2 out.
0-1 pitch. Inside, back Lewandowski out of the box there.
Lewandowski out of the lower part of the order is actually a pretty good hitter. He had 3 hits and 3 at-bats Monday against Downers North.
Offering low there. Now we've got a 2-1 count. 2 balls and a strike. It's 1 away. Good heat from Anderson. Count evened up at 2. Lewandowski a little early on that one, fouled it back. Missing everything. Thank God. The parking lot behind us is jam-packed due to the track meet. Speaking of the track meet, we haven't heard our track announcer over there in a while. Maybe it's over.
A minute ago, he was barking for people to get off the track.
And here he comes. This is the final race. Off-speed pitch, Lewandowski, just a little loop for the 3rd.
Oh, little jam job there, and he looped at the Nagy.
Nagy just gloves it, and Lewandowski is down for the 2nd time today.
That guy came in right on cue. What the heck's going on here?
I don't think we could have planned that one any better.
Is he hearing the simulcast today on radio?
I think so.
Hey, they're playing my song. I better speak up again.
Now stepping up with 2 outs, the center fielder Dino Casucci. Last time at bat received a walk. Anderson kicks and delivers. Off speed, Casucci rips one to Nagy, and Nagy gloves it, and that'll end the inning. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors.
Well, Nagy's pretty busy down there the last 2 pitches.
Well, the blooper there by Lewandowski prior to Casucci's heater, but nonetheless, you've got to be awake.
Yeah, he went from a room service line drive to a screaming Mimi.
Exactly. So we're through 2.5. Proviso up 5-0.
Let's enjoy the song of the gentleman calling the track scores across the way.
We should try and get an interview with that fellow after the game here.
Well, at one point he yelled, "Get off the track!" He sounded like Eddie Albert on Green Acres.
Due up this inning forward to the Downers South Mustangs will be John Stapleton, followed by Ryan Bebar, and then top of the order, Don McGrath. Should anybody reach base, the catcher Dan Marks will be up. Let's set the defense for you for Proviso West. Brian Wardell, along with, where are my notes? Tom Rogers, Bruce Wardell at short, and Steve Salkitis, infield 1st to 3rd. Outfield will be Eugene Jenkins, Dino Casucci, and Paul Robertson. The outfield, left to right. And the battery, Alvy Shepard and Derek Townsend. The wind's kicking up here, a little bit chilly on this Saturday afternoon. Players don't seem to mind it, though. They're all wrapped up in gloves and long-sleeve sweaters. They're prepared for this sort of thing. Little powwow at the mound, and we'll be ready to go.
Stapleton, a three-sport athlete. He'll be leading it off, John Stapleton. Plays soccer in the fall and basketball in the winter.
Well, he should be used to this type of weather, playing soccer. And that's a fall sport, and usually by the end of the year, temperatures are dropping to about this level. Shepard's first pitch there to Stapleton is fouled back.
Stapleton's a really special young man. He had heart surgery during the fall.
Oh, wow.
And within 3 weeks, he was back playing. And that's a rough thing to go through, and then to return that quickly to athletic competition. Really something else.
Shepard with a nice off-speed pitch there. Seemed to catch Stapleton off guard. The count goes 0-2.
Shepard, who's had control problems during the year, hasn't really shown them at all today. I think he's gone to 3 balls on 1 batter, and that's been it. He's had 3 strikeouts as well along the way and only 1 hit allowed.
Thus far, Shepard is working on a 1-hitter. Although it's a little bit early to start making predictions on how this will go for the rangy pitcher.
That was that scratch single off his glove.
Off his own glove, exactly.
Marks just barely beat it first.
The 1-2 offering, swing and a miss, strike 3. Stapleton goes down swinging. Once again, the heat coming out of Alvy Shepard. A little too much so far for the Mustang hitters. Ryan Bebar, left fielder, steps in.
He had the game-winning hit on Thursday in the 13th inning. I think by the time you're in the 13th inning on a Thursday night starting at 4:30, I would imagine the headlights are on and they're
everybody's pulling their cars up right along.
Exactly.
Everybody's pulling their cars up and turning the lights on.
So Ryan Gabby Hartnett, Bebar at the plate.
The homer and the Gloman. Swing and he fouls it back.
One in from left field. Of course, Shepard's not allowing him to hit the ball at this point, so.
2-2 offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Well, you have to be impressed with this youngster. Just a junior, and well, if he's able to throw strikes, he's going to be a tough customer.
Bebar becomes the 5th strikeout victim. And we go to the top of the order. Don McGrath, the center fielder. Last time McGrath was up, he was a victim of the K. This is starting to sound a little bit repetitive. McGrath out a little bit ahead of that one, fouls it out.
Coming this way now.
And folks, if you hear any rattling, that's not the fence, that's my teeth chattering. The breeze has picked up.
McGrath
Shepard
calls time.
Now having to wait as McGrath called time.
Last Saturday on a cold day similar to this, McGrath had 2 hits against Glenbard West. So maybe he's a cold weather hitter. We'll see.
0-1 the count. The pitch fouled off there by McGrath. 0-2.
The West Suburban Conference, a lot of very good baseball teams this season. In the Silver Division, where Proviso West plays, you have Downers Grove North, Glenbard West, and Lyons Township. All 3 of them very highly touted coming into the season, and traditional powers like Hinsdale Central.
0-2 pitch popped up to the infield. It's up in the breeze, and the catch is made there by Brian Wardell into the inning. In the inning, no runs, no hits, couple of strikeouts, nobody left on base. We are through 3. And it's 5-0 Proviso West. We'll be back after this on Continental Cable. Oh.
We are back for the top of the 4th inning. As we get a look at some of the crowd here on a very chilly day at Downers Grove South High School, and the host Mustangs feeling a little chilly right now for another reason. They're down 5-0.
Leading off this inning for the Proviso West Panthers will be Tom Rogers, the second baseman, who will be followed by Brian Wardell and Paul Robertson, the right fielder. Should anybody reach base, Bruce Wardell, the shortstop, will be next in line. We're in the top of the fourth. Downer South on the downside of a 5-0 score. Rogers is 2 for 2, a couple of base hits. Has scored twice. Here's a kick and the delivery by Anderson. Off speed upstairs. That'll miss for a ball.
Rogers 2 for 2. 2 singles, 2 runs scored.
You know, it's not so bad when the wind doesn't blow. It really isn't.
No.
I think it's the wind that's really giving the chill. Anderson misses low there, 2-0.
They schedule a lot of games in early April and late March, and I don't understand why. I mean, you expect it to be kind of cold. We're into late April now, so maybe we should expect a warm up, but
as the Proviso West bench chatters it up, Anderson misses high, and he's got a 3-0 count on Tom Rogers. That might be the way to keep things warm in the bench there by talking it up. Anderson's got a hit here, and he does. 3-1. Usually on that 3-0 count, the hitter will just be looking. He won't be, the bat usually won't leave his shoulder. 3-1 count. Now the breeze picks way up, and Rogers gets around a little early. Now we've got a full count on Tom Rogers. You get a shot of Eric Anderson in your picture. Proviso West bench keeping the enthusiasm high. Here's the delivery, the full count pitch. Bouncer to the hole. Hullava comes up firing, and he got him. Hullava to Otterbacher, and we got one away.
good recovery by Anderson. He had fallen behind 3-0 to the leadoff man Rogers. Came back to get him.
Now hitting is Brian Wardell. Wardell on the afternoon, 1 for 2. Flied out to left his last trip to the plate. Anderson off speed, nice pitch, and Wardell went for it. Anderson off speed again. That one missed inside. The count is even at 1.
Anderson finding a groove now a little bit. He's retired 5 in a row.
He seems to have settled himself down just a little bit. Here's the pitch. Swing there by Wardell out to short right. It's going to drop. Yeah. Wardell rounds first, and he'll stop there as the ball is brought in by the second baseman Stapleton. So Wardell reaches base with a little bloop.
Sophomore's 2 for 3 now today. Anderson has now thrown 82 pitches through 3 1/3 innings.
Up to the plate now, Paul Robertson. Brian Wardell at first. Robertson is 0 for 1. Reached base last time on a walk. Now Anderson keeping the runner Wardell in check. Robertson walked his last trip to the plate and came around to score. Now a little cat and mouse game there between Anderson and Brian Wardell. Kicks and delivers, the runner going. Here's the throw down to 2. And he's out. A great throw there by the catcher Marks to pick off Brian Wardell, trying to go for 2 on the steal.
Marks to Stapleton on the putout, 2-4. If by some odd chance you're scoring at home. And strong throw and really a low tag as Stapleton had to reach back to tag Wardell, looked like on the leg. And he got the tag down in time, 2 out.
Pitch was a strike as Robertson swung at it to protect the runner, and that one's going at my car foul. But it'll miss. Missed everything again.
Did miss. Well, you're 1 for 2.
So far.
Solarte is 1 for 2 on the day.
On calls of cars. Got an 0-2 count, 2 outs here in the top half of number 4. inning number 4. Anderson from the windup. Here it comes. Off speed, just missed. And Paul Robertson gave that one a long, hard look. Ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here. Anderson off speed, cue ball, foul. That's caught.
Ah, great
Looked like
diving
it was going to
catch.
drop in. A nice diving catch there by the
And
first baseman.
That was actually in fair territory, too. A surprise is great jam by Anderson as he tied Robertson in knots. Otterbacher wound up having to make a great play, charging in from his first base position to make the diving catch.
In
Just
the inning,
fair territory.
In the inning, in the top half of the 4th inning for Proviso West, no runs on 1 hit, nobody left on base, no errors. Through 3 1/2, it's 5-0 Proviso West. And as you said, there a great catch there by Otterbacher. It looked from our vantage point that the ball was going to spin itself foul, but Otterbacher took no chances and just made the diving catch, ending the inning. It's plays like that that'll get a pitcher pumped up there after being rocked in the first couple innings.
And Downers Grove South, which according to their coach Rudy Boker and according to the error totals, has had a lot of problems defensively, both against Downers Grove North, as we mentioned earlier, and they also committed 9 errors in another game, I think, against Hinsdale Central earlier this year. But that inning, they made 2 dandy defensive plays to prevent trouble, as the throw by Marks to nail a base stealer, potential base stealer, and also the diving catch by Otterbacher. Those are the plays you have to make. Unfortunately for Downers Grove South, they're down 5-0, but maybe that'll be an inspiration to get the bats going.
Sometimes a good defense will get the offense, give the offense a good swift kick to the backside that it might need. And for Proviso West, they're hoping that won't happen as they own the 5-0 lead here as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning.
There's that big right-hander Alvy Shepard in your picture, and he has allowed just 1 base runner on a scratch single by Dan Marks. A great defensive play in that first inning. Also, when Marks got his hit, center fielder Dino Casucci made a fabulous diving catch of a Paul DiRienzo shot, which if it had fallen, your run would have scored. It would have been 2-1 Proviso West, but Casucci made the big defensive play, and that's been about the only story for Downers Grove South today. Proviso West has really been in charge the rest of the way.
Here's a windup in the pitch to catcher Dan Marks. He'll lead off the bottom half of the 4th inning for South. He'll be followed by Jay Nagy and Paul DiRienzo. And Shepard continues to throw heat. Swing and a foul ball. Once again, missing everything. 0-2 the count. And Marks' last time at bat, he reached on a base hit, if I'm not mistaken, on the scratch single.
Yes, right past the mound.
And advanced the second on a pass ball. One and 2 the count here. Alvy Shepard working so far on a 1-hitter. Marks the owner of the sole hit. There's a windup in the pitch, and Alvy just a bit outside, if I can use a Bob Uecker term from the movie. Right. The first kick in the offering from Vaughn, just a bit outside.
Just missed with that one.
That one went back to the backstop. Counts 2-2. There's a kick and the delivery by Shepard. That's low. Full count to the catcher Dan Marks.
Shepard came in with 2 quick strikes.
You know,
Since then, he's been missing pretty badly.
On that hit by Marks in the first inning, I tended to disagree with the call there made by the umpire, because I don't know too many catchers that are that quick that are going to beat out a dribbler, be able to run the 90-footer, the 90-foot, and a called 3rd strike there on Marks.
Shepard just got that one in at the knees. I don't think Marks was too thrilled with the call, nor was first base coach Phil Fox, but Marks is out, and the strikeout is number 6 for Shepard in 3 1/3 innings.
Now at the plate, Jay Nagy, the 3rd baseman for Downers South. Last trip to the plate for Nagy was a strikeout. Wind up in the delivery. Off speed that bounced. That was about a 58-footer. Alvy Shepard, 6'5" right-hander.
This might be a time for Downers South to start taking some pitches, make Shepard get ahead on the count, because throughout the season he's had trouble with control, and down 5-0, Downers Grove South needs some base runners any way they can get them.
Well, that last pitch that Shepard threw, as I said, bounced well before the plate. Kicking the delivery there. That one's on the outside corner strike.
Well, like I was saying, go up there swinging.
I think the batter might have heard you. Now he caused him to look at that last one. Swing and a foul ball.
Well, I think the way Shepard is throwing today, the only hope you've got is that he hits a wild spell, because he is on. He's got great velocity.
He hasn't missed. When he's missed big, but he hasn't missed that often.
I mean, there's been one ball hit out of the infield, and that the great catch by Kasuchi.
Line up the pitch low. Counts even at 2.
He's tying him in knots completely. Not Don knots either.
I wonder if you've ever called a baseball game on account of coldness. There's a wind-up in the 2-2 pitch. Ball hit out of the infield, and a nice running grab there made by Rogers. Rogers on the dead run caught that one just behind second base. And we've got 2 away. Paul DiRienzo up.
Nagy got that ball off the end of the bat. Nearly blooped it into right center field, but Rogers with a good defensive play.
Good speed shown by Rogers there to catch up with that little looper. So now DiRienzo takes his turn at bat here. Last time up was robbed on a great catch by Dino Kasuchi in center field. Now DiRienzo lays one down,
bunt.
and that one's going to have no chance of being a put out. DiRienzo laid a beautiful bunt down.
That's textbook right there.
You can't ask for a better bunt there, and DiRienzo put it right between the third baseman.
That's Socaitis. He was playing deep, and even if he'd have been playing in, I think it would have been a tough play, because DiRienzo deadened the ball very well and put it in a great location.
Some nice hands there shown by DiRienzo.
We'll see if he attempts to steal a second, try to get in scoring position.
Well, down 5 runs and with 2 outs, I don't know that they want to take a chance on losing the one base runner that they have.
Well,
they may be banking on the shortstop Hullava.
I'm from the other school that they really got to scrap for those runs any way you can get them. As they hit, light flashes on the scoreboard out there.
Officially scored as a hit, so that's the second hit allowed by L.V. Shepard today. But what a trade-off. 2 hits for 6 Ks. Shepard, the pickoff move. Ooh, and a close play at first.
It's the thing I noticed on Monday against Downers North. Shepard will hold runners very close at first. He'll make a lot of throws over there, and he has a very good move.
That was a very good move shown by the junior.
He picked one runner off on Monday against Downers Grove North. They also, I think, stole 4 or 5 bases, though. Which, yeah, I don't blame on him necessarily. With Downers North, a very good base-stealing team.
Shepard kicks and goes to the plate with it. Misses high. Got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. 5-0 lead for Proviso West. Mike Solarte along with Dave Owen here at Downers Grove South High School. Shepard throws to first.
You really don't see many high school pitchers with a good move to first. Shepard's got a really good one, though. Maybe an exception to the general rule, and for a right-hander especially.
He has very quick feet for a tall pitcher. That pitch coming in as a strike. 1-1 the count. Shepard in the stretch. Goes to first with it. Throws one in the dirt. Blocked there nicely by Brian Wardell, but it's not going to run away far enough for the runner to advance to second.
Rogers, good job getting over there, too. Both he and Wardell very close to the ball, so DiRienzo wisely holds it first.
Tell you what, Dave, first snowflake and I'm out of here. Bouncer up to short. Coming up with his Wardell.
No,
it got through Wardell, goes into center field. Runner going to third. The throw to third. Thrown away, backed up nicely by Shepard, and the batter will advance to second. So on a play that could have been a routine bouncer to short, turns into a double.
I think they'll probably judge that an error.
That may be, that's charged as an error to the shortstop Wardell. And so now we have runners at second and third. That's DiRienzo at third. And Hullava advances to second on the error by Wardell.
Pretty tough play for Bruce Wardell, really having to charge this low grounder, but didn't get the old glove down or block the ball with a body. And if you don't do that, you don't always get the room service hop. That one went right under his glove, and it'll be a two-base error, as it turns out. Nearly another error, really, as they, I think,
the throw from
trying to
center.
throw him out at third base was probably a mistake. Up 5-0. The ball nearly wound up in the dugout, and then you've got a run in. But Shepard backed up very nicely to prevent that, and instead, Downer South with runners at second and third, 2 out, and Brian Boker will have a chance.
Well, you could hear the Proviso West coach screaming just to hold the ball, and Proviso West was playing throw it everywhere. So now at the plate, Brian Boker, the DH. Runners at second and third with 2 away, and now the Downer South bench starts the chatter. Upstairs.
Yeah, this is a big point in the game for the Mustangs.
If
First
Boker,
time they've had runners in scoring position.
if Boker can connect here, this will put Downer South right back in it. Swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Shepard, and now Townsend out to have a word with him.
He had a big triple against your old alma mater, Leiden High School, in a recent game, which Downer South won in 8 innings. These guys have played a lot of extra inning games.
This early in the season. Hopefully they had warmer weather.
I don't think they can have colder than this.
I think the scoreboard's in our favor, though, for a non-extra inning game as Shepard misses low. We've got a 5-0 lead for Proviso West, but Downer South threatening.
Now 2-1 on Boker.
Boker stands in there kind of tall for a left-hander. Shepard kicks and delivers. Low and inside, and it's a 3-1 count.
First baseman Paul Otterbacher on deck.
Otterbacher, the number 7 hitter in the lineup.
Now Shepard met at the mound by his catcher, Derek Townsend. Also first baseman Brian Wardell will come in.
Now here's where a young pitcher learns how to grow up. You've got to learn the lessons of pitching himself out of jams like this. 3-1 count.
Been a tough jam too to get into with a bunt single and then a ground ball to short, which turned into an error. All of a sudden you're in trouble.
Shepard kicks and delivers a high ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Paul Otterbacher. Boker worked the count to 3-1. So now the first baseman, Paul Otterbacher, out, the right-hander. Last time up, bounced to short.
Yeah, Otterbacher taking a look there, strike 1, the call. I think you want to make him throw that first strike.
Well, when a pitcher's missing as often as Shepard has in this latter part of this inning, it's a wise move by the batter to wait it out. 0-1 the count. Shepard delivers. Off speed, missed.
Just
and that
missed
pitch
inside.
looked pretty good from here. Counts even at 1 with a gale force wind blowing in our face. Shepard delivers. Swing and a miss. Otterbacher well ahead of that pitch. 1-2 the count. Bases loaded. Shepard trying to get himself out of a jam. Throws one in the dirt. Nice scoop there by Townsend, the catcher. That one could have been costly, but Townsend made a nice block of the low pitch. Two and two the count on the scoreboard. Upstairs, the count goes full. 3-2, 2 outs. Now,
He just overthrew that one.
the runners should be moving. And now Downer South threatening to work Alvy Shepard into walking in a run.
Dugout for Downers go South, making lots of noise. They're on their feet.
Shepard kicks and delivers. The runners go. Swing and a foul ball. I think that one caught the umpire right in the face mask.
I think it either caught the umpire or might have rattled off Townsend's mask.
That'll wake you up in a hurry.
Now we'll start again. The merry-go-round from first, second, and third. Bases loaded, 3-2 count, 5-0, Proviso West.
Otterbacher awaits the 3-2 offering from Shepard. Now he steps out. Now he's back in. Shepard delivers, the runners go. Blow outside, ball 4, that walks in and run. So Paul D'Arienzo, who started off this whole affair with a bunt, a nicely played bunt down the third base line, is walked home. Bases are still loaded for John Stapleton.
This has been Alvy's Achilles heel. He's had a great season, 3-1, but his Achilles heel has been his control, and of course this inning hasn't been helped.
Swing and a miss there by Stapleton. That is Shepard's first walk issued today.
This inning hasn't been helped, though, by the fact that there was the bunt single in the air. Shepard really hasn't been hit too hard.
Shepard delivers another strike, and Stapleton quickly behind 0-2 in the count. Alvy Shepard trying to get out of here with minimal damage. He's already allowed 1 run on a walk. Misses that one upstairs, and Shepard was halfway to the dugout when that call was made. He thought that was in there. A 1-2 from Shepard. Tip caught, and that's the end of the inning. But in the inning, Downer South dents the scoreboard by getting one. In the inning, 1 run on 1 hit and 1 error. 3 men left on base. So we're through 4, and it's 5-1 Proviso West. Back after this on Continental Cable.
Here from Downers Grove South High School, as the wind playing havoc with our notes here. Dave Owen and Mike Solarte here. Proviso West leading 5-1. Quelled a threat there in the bottom of the 4th as Downers Grove South plated 1 run and had the bases full, but got no more as Shepard struck out John Stapleton to end it. It'll be Bruce Wardell, Derek Townsend, and Alvy Shepard here.
There in your picture, you just had a shot of the shivering Proviso West bench. They're right in the face of this wind.
Eric Anderson going to work. First pitch swung in line into center field and past McGrath. It'll be a base hit as D'Arienzo gets to it in right center, and Bruce Wardell is 2 for 3. Good effort by Dan McGrath, the center fielder, but just eluded him in front of his glove.
Well, Wardell just kind of stuck the bat out there, and with the speed at which Anderson is throwing the ball still here in the top of the 5th, didn't have to swing too hard to get the ball to carry, and that's exactly what I did.
Now it'll be Derek Townsend's turn. He has a walk and a run-scoring single. The single coming in the 3-run second for Proviso West. Ball 1. I wonder if Downers Grove South got a look at this wind and decided to move their dugout to the third base side today. I think if I were Proviso West, I'd pull the bus up and just sit in there rather than the dugout. Turn on the heat, maybe the radio. That's high, ball 2.
You've got to think, though, that now Anderson is starting to tire. He's missing upstairs, and that's usually the sign that the legs are not in it. He's not able to get the weight transfer through correctly, and he's missing the ball high.
2-0, man on first. Nobody out. 5-1 Proviso West. Looking to add to it. Strike 1 on the inside corner to Townsend.
And just as I say he's missing upstairs, he comes back and fires a low heater right on the corner.
Anderson nearing the 90 pitch mark now in the game. I think he's around 88, 89 now if my tabulations are correct.
Wish it were about 88 or 89 degrees right now.
Well, let's think warm.
That's right. The mind is a dangerous or a powerful thing. Sorry.
If we think warm, it might seem like it's about 18 degrees right now. It feels like it's about 14.
Below.
2-1 the count.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad. It's great weather if you're a Penguin.
Ball 3. It's going to be comfortable watching at home, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The folks at home getting a nice, comfortable view, sitting back, a nice, comfortable chair with a nice, cool drink.
If you want to get the effect that we have right now, folks, I suggest you put the TV in the freezer and go sit in there for a while. Maybe 10 minutes, come out and... Ball 4 up high, and Townsend on for the 3rd straight time. And Proviso West threatening again with 2 on and nobody out. They've scored 5 times and left 4 runners on base as well. A 8-hit attack. And the man at the plate now, Alvy Shepard, has one of those hits, a first inning single, which scored what right now figures to be the winning runs of the game.
The first 2 runs of the game scored on the line drive base hit from Shepard.
And what really impresses you about what Proviso West has done today, each run is scored with 2 out, and they have had 3 2-out hits to plate the 5 runs.
Interesting note about Alvy Shepard. We were speaking with one of our informers here at the ballpark today. It's a strike by Anderson. Shepard, 6'5", has to wear a size 16 shoe. Very difficult to find baseball spikes in that range there. So he looks like he's wearing something out of a Reebok pump.
Yeah, those
commercial, the high tops.
I know those are almost something that Herman Munster used to wear on many years ago. Those are huge shoes.
It's like a combination of Herman Munster shoes and the Sinead O'Connor combat boot action. But they're comfortable.
Shot in a left field, base hit Shepard.
I think he heard us making fun of him, so he got mad.
Bases will be loaded, nobody out. Well, nothing to make fun of. He's a heck of a player, but man, trying to find shoes to fit that boy, that's got to be tough. Size 16, and
I thought I had it.
Probably see those high tops throughout the course of the game today.
I thought I had it tough trying to find a 14.
Shepard looking for a jacket now, as he will be on first with his 2nd hit of the game, and the bases are full for Steve Silkaitis, who has struck out each time today, hoping to cash in here and join in the fun. Proviso West having a nice day.
Proviso West is threatening here once again, and Eric Anderson is struggling out there. He's a man with with himself in his thoughts and 8 men to help him out, but right now the Proviso West hitters are not cooperating.
Actually, we will be having a pinch hitter here. Number 20, Kevin Becker will bat for Silkaitis. Strike 1 on the inside corner. Becker, a right-hand hitter. Swing and a miss. Anderson ahead on the count, 0-2.
And Becker took a very feeble swing at that attempt there. He kind of just lunged at the ball.
I think having to come off the bench here and face a couple fastballs from a pitcher like Eric Anderson's not an ideal spot.
Well, you're still trying to, wipe the frost off your arms from the wind.
1-2 the count. I think Becker was probably quite happy just having his jacket on the bench. Cold enough already. Ball 2. Now Mark's going to go visit the mound as Anderson kind of overthrown a bit. Each of his last 2 tosses have sailed in high. The bases are full with nobody out. Bruce Wardell at 3rd, Derek Townsend at 2nd, and Alvy Shepard over at 1st. And it has been the Alvy Shepard show today, both on the mound and at the plate. Drove in what figured to be the winning runs. Ball high, 3-2. He's coming in high again. And the bases are loaded, so there's nowhere to put this guy.
Anderson has just crossed the 100 pitch barrier. And we're not through 5 complete. Oh, and a nice pitch there by
right
Anderson.
At the knees.
Becker froze at the plate. I don't know if he was cold or if he got fooled by the pitch.
Good pitch, great location. Anderson just got that in the spot he needed to at the knees, where as his previous 3 pitches had all sailed in high. Anderson had the great location on that one.
Well, pitch 101 proves to be the first out of the the 5th inning.
Ed Lewandowski now, the batter, swing and a miss. Anderson coming back with some smoke.
I think that strike 3 that was called on Becker may have given him a little lift, put a little bit more wind in his sail,
so to speak. Swing and a miss, 0-2. There's plenty of wind for the sail already out here at windy Downers Grove South High School.
There's enough wind out here that if Anderson wanted to, he can go and win the America's Cup.
He could
have enough left over for tomorrow.
Sail to India. 1-2 now. Anderson comes in high.
Anderson's pace has picked up a little bit. I think he might be throwing just a little bit too hard and a little too quick. Not a lot of time between pitches.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
But who's to complain when he gets a 2nd strikeout in a row?
So now the Downers South infield, which had been playing right on the lip of the infield grass, can drop back to normal depth with 2 out. And Dino Casucci will be the batter.
Lewandowski just falling victim to his 2nd K of the day. That makes number 6 for Eric Anderson.
He has also walked 4 during the day.
And Dino Casucci was the recipient of one of those benevolent gifts.
He is a 1-out walk in the 2nd inning. He came around to score eventually. Dan Marks ought to be getting frequent flyer miles going out to that mound. We've seen him out there about 10 times today.
Casucci's last trip to the plate, he lined hard to the 3rd baseman Nagy. That was back in the top half of the 3rd inning.
So the base is loaded, 2 out. Proviso West, which scored 5 times in the first 2 innings, trying to add to that now, leading 5-1. But Eric Anderson being very stingy. Ball 1 inside.
Casucci is the 6th batter to go to the plate in this inning for the Panthers. I want to say Pirates because they were in my division also, the Proviso
right.
East Pirates. What a year they had in basketball and wrestling. Man, oh man.
That's right, in wrestling too. 2 state titles. I wonder how many times that's happened. I know in those 2 sports it hasn't happened before that each team has won a state title, but how many times in the course of one winter do 2 schools claim, 2 teams at a school claim state titles? Ball inside. The only schools I can even imagine winning 2 or more titles in a year are like New Trier, Hinsdale Central, with their great traditions in tennis and swimming. But we'd have to look that one up. Inside, ball 4, a run scores. On 4 pitches, Casucci walks and Bruce Wardell crosses the plate. So Anderson, after Proviso West loaded the bases with nobody out, the left-hander came back to register 2 Ks, but Casucci walks on 4 pitches and Proviso West gets their run after all.
Rogers now with the chance. He has a couple of hits today. Last trip to the plate bounced out to Bruce Wardell. Now the left-handed hitter Rogers stepping in with a chance to wreak a little bit more havoc on the Downers South Mustangs.
Ooh. High and inside with that one, 1-0. Marks had a lunge to catch that ball.
I've got a feeling that Rogers is going to wait for Anderson to throw the first strike in this exchange here.
He's thrown 5 straight balls. Now 6 straight. That one misses low. Downers South coach Rudy Boker has someone throwing down in the bullpen. I think he might just be getting in some work, though. I'm not sure if he's warming up for this game or not. Strike 1. 2-1 now to Rogers.
When Anderson gets it over the plate, when he has this control, he's tough. This inning, as you say, 3 batters reached base, then he struck 2 out.
Strike 2 at the knees. Good location again for Eric, and it's 2-2.
And Rogers has a hard time believing he watched that last one. Rogers, the 7th hitter to go to the plate in this inning.
Two out. Bases full. Ground ball. Hullava goes down to his knee, tosses to Stapleton, and the inning is over. Force out short to second. And so 1 run crosses the plate on 2 hits, 2 walks, and the bases are left full by the Panthers. 4.5 innings in the books, and Proviso West leading 6-1. And Downers Grove South with a lot of work to do offensively here if they're to get back in this ball game. I want to thank the athletic directors at both schools here today in today's game. Downers Grove South Athletic Director Larry Smith and Proviso West Athletic Director Bernie Scull. Also the 2 coaches today for the host Downers Grove South Mustangs, Rudy Boker, and Proviso West coach Tim McAlpin. Bottom of the 5th coming up, and Proviso West's Alvy Shepard working on a 2-hitter. A bunt single and an infield hit, which just eluded the pitcher Shepard, so he has been in complete control all day. Downers South scoring once in the 4th, and they're going to have to really scrap to get more here off a tough right-hander.
You have to wonder what's going through the minds of Downers South now. The pitcher Shepard has been just commanding this entire game by throwing strikes, by his offensive production, and Downers South has to try and find the spark that's going to get this team to get some more runs on the board. The only run that they did to score was on a bases-loaded walk administered by Shepard, and that I don't think is going to happen too much more in this game. And the track meet is still going on.
Yeah, I guess the fans can't hear that at home, but unfortunately, because I think everyone else in the entire DuPage County can probably hear the gentleman. But we're enjoying it. Ryan Bevar will bat first for Downers South.
We're enjoying the dulcet tones coming from the track. He's no Trevor Denman, that's for sure. Trevor Denman, the race caller out in California, I believe at Santa Anita Race Course. He was here for a while at Arlington Park.
That's right, I remember that.
And he's a good one.
British fellow, isn't he?
Australian, I believe.
Australian, okay.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you brought the hot chocolate. I forgot all about that. That really hits the spot.
Took one look at the thermometer and knew we were in trouble. But the rains have held off. It could have been worse.
Yes, it could be worse. It could be raining.
I don't know at this point if our crew and Director Terry Cantwell feel the same way, as they're out here freezing too and doing a great job.
As always, worked with Continental in the past, working on high school hockey, and the pictures and work by the crew that they've provided have always been top-notch.
Top-notch, exactly.
Top-notch. Can't complain.
Strike 1 to Bevar, and under less than ideal conditions today, let me tell you. Swing and a miss. Bevar trying to climb the ladder to reach that high fastball, and it's 0-2.
My whole body feels like it's been hit with a shot of Novocaine.
Bevar fouls that back.
I don't see any let-up in Alvy Shepard. He continues to just bring the heater. He's ahead of this hitter 0-2. It's Bevar.
Strike 3 called, and that pitch a mite bit high, but it's called strike 3. And Bevar strikes out for the 2nd time. Umpire's been very consistent, though. I have to give him a lot of credit behind the plate. Strike zone been very good about laying off, calling a lot of high strikes.
Bevar becomes strikeout victim number 8 as we go to the top of the order.
Dan McGrath, the batter, 0 for 2. Pulled the string on that one. Did Shepard? Missed just inside, 1-0. High hard one, 1-1. Or 2-0 rather, missed with that one. Strike at the knees, 2-1. Townsend, good job framing the pitch. Grounded right back up the middle, base hit McGrath. He ripped that one right back at Shepard. And McGrath with his first hit of the day, the Mustangs third, and he's on first base with one out. A very nice job of hitting right there. Timed the pitch beautifully.
Well, Shepard came in with the heat, and McGrath went right back at him, brought the hit the ball right back up through the box, right into center field. We've got a runner at first, one away.
And it's Dan Marks now. One of those hits, swings and rips it down the right field line, foul.
Now Shepard just waiting at the hill. I think they're waiting for that foul ball to come back. We've lost a lot of baseballs out of the ball yard today due to the foul ball going into the parking lot.
Yeah, I don't know how they're tracking those babies down either with all those cars out there. Could be under anything at this point. McGrath gets back at first. Shepard with a good move.
He shuffles those size 16s pretty well.
They much talked about size 16s. Pitch in the dirt. Townsend scoops it out. 1-1 the count. Mike, let me tell you, every baseball game you do won't be this cold. So
Yeah,
you can. It's your debut in the baseball booth here for Continental Cablevision, but
yeah, and I had the pleasure of working with a competent announcer, and Dave.
2 weeks ago, right?
No,
not today.
No, today. I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, under the circumstances, well, you can't.
Calling the game today, I think, is the easiest part. Staying alive and warm is the tough part.
2-1 as McGrath dives back.
You know, Shepard gets that throw down at the base. He could pick off a lot more runners. He's getting it there. He's getting the ball over to first in a hurry, but in the wrong position for the first baseman.
Marks grounds it into left, base hit. Making the turn at second and holding McGrath as left fielder Eugene Jenkins gets it back in quickly, and it's first and second, one out.
It appears Downer South may have figured out the riddle of Alvy Shepard. That's the second consecutive hit, the fourth of the game now for Downer South.
And both solid hits, one ripped to center, and Marks pulling the ball into the hole between third and short.
Shot by Marks was well hit, a hot smash on the ground. It snuck between the third baseman, Becker now, I believe.
I think you're right. Becker is the third.
I believe that's Becker now, and the shortstop Bruce Wardell. Jay Nagy
at the plate. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout in the soft liner to second. 1-0 the count. It's pitched low.
It appears Shepard is starting to hurry himself a little bit.
Mike Hullava warming up in the bullpen for Downers Grove South. Got the win in Thursday's game in relief. Strike at the letters, 1-1. Downers South, a good situation for them. Runners at first and second, one out. They do trail 6-1, but they've got the meat of their order coming up, the 3-4-5 men. Starting with Nagy, number 3. That one in low, and it's 2-1.
Shepard may be trying to get a little too cute as that off-speed pitch just barely made it over the plate. About a 60-footer plus an inch.
Shepard the stretch, the pitch. Grounded to short. Wardell for one. Rogers to first. 2, double play.
If you're scoring at home, it's a 6-4-3, and the 6-4-3 double play gets Proviso West out of the jam.
Oh man, you don't see many of those in high school ball. From Bruce Wardell to Tom Rogers to Brian Wardell, and it's over for Downers Grove South in the 5th. They strand 1, 2 hits. We are through 5. 6-1 Proviso West. We'll come right back. I'm Dave Owen along with Mike Solarte here at Downers Grove South High School. And Eric Anderson finishing his warm-ups here. And we decided to stand up now. It's a very chilly day here at Downers Grove South. Proviso West making themselves right at home. The visiting team leading 6-1. Took charge early, 2 in the first, 3 in the second, and really never been threatened.
As you mentioned before, Dave, Mike Hullawa was warming up when Downer South had their at-bats, and I believe we've got a new shortstop in there, number 33, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I think that is Hullawa.
Oh, Hullawa is 33, okay.
Yeah, I think he may have been just throwing in between innings in case either to get work in or in case
Anderson runs out of gas.
Yeah, they make a move in the middle of the inning. As
Now
Brian Wardell.
Now it's comfortable. There's no breeze.
Wardell 2 for 3, runs scored. That pitch high. Wardell chops it to second. Stapleton ranges to his right, picks it up, throws, safe at first, beat it out.
Good hustle there by Brian Wardell to beat out the slow grounder.
He got that ball off the end of the bat and got down the line pretty good.
It was a little nubber, as they call it.
Not hit hard enough for Stapleton to get there in time. And so Proviso West has another base runner, and that gives them 10 hits in the game. Paul Robertson comes to bat. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Last time up, put a star on his last at bat as Paul Otterbacher made a great defensive play on a diving catch. Grounded deep in the hole at short. Hullawa throws to second, not in time.
I don't know, the great play there made by the shortstop Hullawa. He made the backhand grab and wheeled and turned and fired to second, but I think the throw handled there by Stapleton may have pulled Stapleton off the bag.
It must have, because I'll tell you, I thought the throw was in time, and Brian Wardell at second thought it was in time. He stepped off the base for a moment until he saw the safe signal and quickly scampered back. A few at each school, but he is one of those 3-sport athletes who excels in 3 sports at his school. He's the starting quarterback for the Proviso West Panthers in the football season during the fall. Then is a reserve forward on the basketball team in the winter. And of course the ace pitcher in the spring.
There's a fellow I went to high school with at Leiden by the name of Chris Himaleski. Was along the same line. He was a 3-sport athlete. He was starting quarterback for the football team. He was a power forward, if I'm not mistaken, for the basketball team. And in baseball, he was along the same mold of Alvy Shepard, a tremendous pitcher. Upon graduation in 1988, he attended Kansas University along with a fellow teammate of 2 of the 3 sports, basketball and baseball, his teammate Craig Wilson. They both made the journey out to Kansas.
What sport did they?
They both went out to Kansas to play baseball. They
Leiden.
both decided to play baseball there. And I believe Chris,
Leiden has had a great baseball tradition.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Chris was drafted by Cincinnati, but I could be wrong. It's either Cincinnati or it's a major league team. He was drafted by him, but I don't know if he's pursued that or not. If I'm not mistaken, he should have another year of college ball to play.
Well, we have 2 pitchers today who have both been mentioned as very strong, potentially draft players. As Shepard, just a junior, and already a lot of interest in him. Anderson, another player with the potential to be drafted this coming summer. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, Paul DiRienzo, Mike Hullawa, and Brian Boker will bat for Downer South. This was the threesome that got things started in the 4th for the Mustangs' only run. And they'll try to get things stirred up here in the bottom of the 6th. I think back to Leiden. Boy, you mentioned those names. Keith Toriani, who we were out to cover a few years ago, he's down at University of Illinois playing baseball and having a great year.
Keith was a tremendous golfer also. He my senior year, he was on the junior varsity team, and he was throwing some good numbers up on the golf course as well.
Proviso West looking to go to 8-3 here.
This year on the this year for Leiden. There's a couple of big names that are mentioned as bright spots for Leiden. Danny Bagnoli plays hockey for the Eagles. He's also a tremendous outfielder.
And a football player.
I believe football player also, yes. And we got a young pitcher in the person of David Banizinski, who's got a rocket for an arm, just needs to learn a little bit more about control.
Well, we're scheduled to be seeing the Leiden Eagles down the line in a few weeks, as strike one called the DiRienzo against Hinsdale Central would be that game, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully that's in early May, so hopefully it'll be
hopefully we'll
spring
get
by
warm
then.
Weather, yeah. Man, oh man.
Pulled the string on it, 0-2. Shepard changing speeds well here.
Shepard is having a tremendous outing today. Despite the weather conditions, he's been able to place the ball where he's wanted to, been able to snap the string, so to speak, and work an effective changeup.
Back with the heat on 0-2, grounded to short. Wardell over and throws him out. Wardell to Wardell on that one. Brian to Bruce, and it's one out. Bruce to Brian, actually. And now Mike Hullava, the shortstop for Downers South, will bat. Reached on an error his last time and grounded to first as well earlier in the second inning. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Shepard has allowed 4 hits. Really, last inning, the 5th inning, was really the only time Downers South has really dented him at all. The other 2 singles were infield variety.
Of the hits, of the times that Downers South has made contact with the ball, they've made solid contact.
1-2 as it's fouled off to the first base side.
The Mustangs may have either figured out how to hit L.V. Shepard, or L.V. Shepard is giving them much easier pitches to hit than he was earlier in the game.
1-2. Sails in high with that one. Looked like he was almost going to try a slider with that or something as it got away from him a little bit.
But the height of that pitch looked like it was a slider to water slide.
That's back with a heat, and it's 3-2 as it comes inside. Shepard's essentially gone with the 2 pitches, the change-up and the fastball today. That ball lined, nice lunging grab by Wardell at first.
That's a great catch there by Wardell.
So picks that one off before it can reach right field and robs Hullava a base hit. Brian Wardell, who has had 3 hits himself at the plate, just took one away in the field.
And once again, the Downers South Mustangs are making contact, solid contact, but they're hitting them right to Proviso West defense.
You could see Hullava in the back of your picture a moment ago as he returned to the dugout, getting some congratulations from his teammates. That was a pretty good piece of hitting, but Wardell denied him the base hit. 0-1 to Boker with 2 out in the 6th. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Shepard ahead in the count with 2 out in the 6th. His team up 6-1. Now it's 1-2 the count. Shepard comes in low with the change.
Shepard is mixing up his pitches quite well today, keeping the Mustang hitters off guard.
And blows it right by Boker, so 3 up and 3 down. Shepard with strikeout number 9, and we are through 6 innings. Proviso West leading 6-1.